Live from South Carolina, it's Sunday night!
It's Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, yesterday was Friday. Today is Saturday.
Oh, Rebecca, please. Anyway, today it's time for the second edition of Audio Hyperbole and a Half. Thanks for Allie Brosh for putting it into the Creative Commons so we can do this without infringing copyright.
This one is called theparty. At some point during my childhood, my mother made the mistake of taking me to the orthodontist. It was discovered that I had a rogue tooth that was growing sideways. Dramatic reenactment.
I'm going to ruin everything.
My mom and I were told that the tooth, if left unchecked, would completely ruin everything in my life and turn me into a horrible, horrible mutant. I probably would have teeth even growing on my eyes. Unless I wanted to spend the rest of my natural life chained in a windowless shed to avoid traumatizing other citizens, I was going to need surgery to remove the tooth. I was accepting of the idea until I found that my surgery was scheduled on the same day as my friend's birthday party. My surgery was in the morning, and the birthday party wasn't until the late afternoon, but my mom told me that I probably still wouldn't be able to make it because I still needed to recover from surgery. I asked her if I could go to the party if I was feeling okay. She said yes, but told me I probably wouldn't be feeling well, and try not to get my hopes up. But it was too late. I knew that if I could trick my mom into believing that I was okay after my surgery, she'd let me go to my friend's birthday party. All I had to do was find a way to prove that I was completely recovered and ready to party. I began to gather very specific information about the kinds of things that would convince my mom that the surgery had absolutely no effect on me. Mom, if I can run from one end of the park to the other after my surgery, can I go to the party? I'm pretty sure my mom was just placating me so I'd leave her alone, but somehow it was determined that the act of running across a park would indeed prove that I was recovered enough to attend the party. And I became completely fixated on that little ray of hope. I remember sitting in the operating room right before going under, coaching myself for the 10,000th time on my post-surgery plan. Immediately after regaining the slightest bit of consciousness, I was going to make my mom drive me to a park, and I was going to run across it like a gazelle on steroids. Let's get you to that party. Permission granted. And then she would let me go to the party. I must have done a really good job pretending to be okay even while I was unconscious, because I was released well before the anesthesia wore off. My mom had to hold on to the back of my shirt to prevent me from falling over while we walked out of the hospital. I first started to regain consciousness while we were driving on the freeway. I didn't know what was going on, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I remembered I needed to do something important. The park! I didn't recall exactly why I needed to go to the park, but I had spent so much time drilling the concept into my head that even in my maze of near unconsciousness, I knew that getting myself to a park was of utmost importance. I tried to communicate this to my mom, but the combination of facial numbness and extreme sedation had caused me to be unable to form words properly. Park!
What?
I yelled louder and more urgently, but my mom still couldn't grasp what it was I wanted. Parp! Parp! Parp!
I don't understand.
It was at this point that I decided to open the car door and try to walk to the park by myself. The only problem was instead of being stopped safely near a park, we were hurtling down I-90 at 70 miles per hour. Parp! Luckily, I hadn't had the presence of mind to unbuckle my seatbelt, so instead of toppling to a bloody death, I merely hung out the side of the car and flailed around ineffectively. A little shaken up by the incident, my mom decided it would probably be a good idea to pull off at the next exit and get some food in me. We found a Jack-in-the-Box, and she led me inside. You seem somewhat concerned. Parp! 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 It was pretty crowded. My mom didn't want me to get back in the car, so we found it. It was pretty crowded, but my mom didn't want to get back in the car, so we found a table, and she told me to wait while we stood in line to order our food.
Stay here.
Barb? I sat contentedly at our table for a few minutes. But then I forgot what was happening and panicked. Remember, Allie has ADHD. In addition to being sedated. I had to find my mom. I had to tell her about the park. I had to call for her, but I couldn't quite remember how to say the words. Moon? Morb? Moit? stumbling around the restaurant, shouting the closest approximation to the word mom I could come up with. Mom! 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 I can run across the park! I can do it! I can do it!
No. Go sit down.
My mom hadn't figured out what I was trying to tell her, but she knew I was yelling and stumbling into the other patrons and generally causing a scene, so she firmly told me to go back to my seat. I had remembered why I wanted to go to the park, so I obeyed my mom, thinking it would increase my chances of going to the park, and thus increase my chances of going to the party. When my mom returned to our table with her food, some version of the following conversation ensued. Can we go to the park now?
The park? Is that what you want?
Yes, the park!
No. Eat your food.
But Moon, I can run across the park. I can do it. I can go to the party.
No, you can't.
I can.
Look at you! You can't even walk! You can't form a coherent sentence.
I can run across the park. I can go to the party.
You are not going to that party.
No, Mom. I can do it. I can go.
I said you can't go to the party. Now eat your food.
Mom, why are you so mean? Why are you so mean to me?
Stop it.
When I started to cry big blubbery tears into my milkshake, it was at that point my mom noticed all the people glaring at her, and I realized that from an outside perspective, it appears as though she was not really refusing to let her poor mentally disabled daughter go to a park and to a birthday party, but was also taunting her child about her disability. Why won't you let me? I can do it! What a monster!
I bet she's embarrassed about her daughter's condition.
That poor child!
That horrible lady!
I really can do it! I really can!
Fine, just eat your food.
And that's how I got to go to a birthday party while heavily sedated. And that's audio hyperbole and a half. Thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, Allie Brosh, congratulations for getting to over 100 million page views on Hyperbole and a half. You are awesome.